Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is my Series 3 of the weekly podcasts 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. These podcasts build confidence and know-how. Consequently, they can help you achieve happiness at work. By the way, that's also the title of my book, available at Amazon and from the book's website, My Happiness at Work. Now for today's episode in Series 3. This is episode 7 in Series 3 of 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. Today's episode is about raising a tricky issue with seniors and how to survive doing it. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you must have a difficult conversation with an older adult? It can be nerve-wracking for some people, and this podcast will help. We'll start by considering the importance of understanding seniors' perspectives. For example, how may their life experiences shape their approach to working with and dealing with people like you? You're not exploring the background of seniors from idle curiosity. When you raise your tricky issue, you need to develop an understanding of your audience. This means showing a genuine interest and empathy for their valuable insights. For example, if you know that your senior has been a keen cyclist for a long time, how might this affect their response when you raise an issue about time off to participate in a charity event? Or if you want to attend an expensive learning event paid for by the organization, what's the educational background of your senior from whom you wish to get help? How might their attendance at a high-level management learning affect their response? Did they find it helpful? And if so, why? If there's a significant age gap between you and your seniors, you need to think about the gaps and how they may lead to misunderstandings. These include issues around technology, family dynamics, and work experiences. Try asking a senior guest to share their perspective on tricky issues that they've faced. Ask how they've dealt with communication challenges and coping strategies. Now let's look at identifying tricky issues. What kind of tricky issues might you need to raise with your seniors? Well, there are at least 3 common ones. Suppose you regularly work in an office and one day notice that office supplies, pens, sticky notes and paper clips are vanishing at an alarming rate. How do you approach your senior colleague who seems to have a secret stash of office supplies in their desk or drawer? Don't expect a good outcome if you confront the senior with the accusation, "Hey boss, it looks like you're stealing office supplies." Instead, a small joke about the situation during a coffee break might work better. "Hey, I've been tracking our disappearing pens. Any chance someone's running a black market stationery business?" Hopefully laughter ensues and you can both share supplies more equitably. Or your senior colleague accidentally sends a sensitive email to the entire company instead of only the 3 intended recipients. How do you tactfully raise the reply all mishap without embarrassing them? Rather than making a big deal of the senior's error, you might send a light-hearted follow-up mail. "Dear team, our seniors demonstrated how effective the reply all feature is." Your response might raise a laugh and justify an organization-wide email etiquette workshop. So how do you connect effectively with older co-workers and mentors as a younger person? It starts with seeing older colleagues as peers rather than superiors. They do have valuable experiences to share. Show an active interest in team dynamics and adapt to the senior's communication style. Take opportunities to connect with them by attending team events, seeking mentors, and engaging in cross-generational conversation. Navigating such events demands empathy, effective communication, and a willingness to learn from each other. There may be many tricky issues you might need to navigate at work, including healthcare decisions. For example, discussing navigating conversations about medical treatments, end-of-life care and living wills, or financial matters, addressing money-related issues such as estate planning, inheritance and budgeting, or independence versus safety. You might explore the delicate balance between a senior's desire for independence and genuine safety concerns. Humor and empathy go a long way when addressing tricky issues with seniors. Now let's look at some survival tactics. While raising tricky issues with seniors will test your empathy and sense of humor, there are also practical ways you can approach each situation, and they include active listening. That's when you leverage the power of listening without judgment. During challenging discussions, you share techniques for active listening. Choose the right time through discussion, such as when it's best to broach sensitive topics and when to wait for a better moment. You could seek mediation to determine whether a neutral third party, such as an HR representative, a counsellor, or a mediator, might facilitate the conversation with seniors. Each situation requires a bespoke range of tactics. To excel at the survival game, research and collect your kit bag of tools and techniques. You never know when you'll need them. Let me give you a real-life example. Supposing you're a younger employee in a company with many older employees. You may find that older colleagues and supervisors have a different communication style and expectations than you do. They may prefer face-to-face communication rather than emails or instant messaging. They may prefer face-to-face communication rather than emails or instant messaging, which can frustrate you. To navigate this, seek a mentor amongst the older employees to help you better understand their perspective. Attend team events and look for opportunities for cross-generational conversations. By actively listening to and adapting to your older colleagues' communication styles, you can build stronger connections with them and navigate tricky issues more effectively. So, some final thoughts. Tricky work issues are part of life and to be navigated with compassion. Steer conversations with seniors to end with a positive message about building stronger connections with each other. Finally, remember the goal is to empower your listeners to help you approach the tricky issues constructively. So don't worry if you're facing a difficult conversation with an older adult. With empathy and understanding, you can survive and come out stronger on the other side. You've been listening to an episode of Series 3 of my weekly podcast, 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. You can hear the other podcasts at the 50ways.site, that's 50.site. There are nearly 100 titles and you can search for any issue that interests you. If you have any questions, you can always drop me a line from there. Also, check out my book, Happiness at Work. It's packed with great stories, compelling advice and suggestions for tackling real issues that you can encounter at work. It's at Amazon or at the book's website, myhappinessatwork.com. There's also an audio version if you prefer listening. Join me next week for another unmissable episode in Series 3. Bye for now.